So how you doing? Bill and Bob, how you doing? This is Jim. Looking forward to doing the interview with you. I don't know if you've been able to see the past ones, but they've been really fun. And we've been doing. I've interviewed several people already, and it's just they've been going very well. And I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, we are too, and we've got some great experiences we'd like to share.
Good.
Just to
So
make sure you understand that we are BonaResponds.
there you go. Awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. Um, so why don't you both introduce yourselves, and we'll start with that.
Okay, since I'm the oldest, I'll go first. Name Bob McGrath, graduated from Bonnie's in 1950.
Wow. That's
Majored
awesome.
in accounting, run my own business now. I've been living in Dallas, among other places. Started out with IBM and traveled the world on business and on pleasure, and enjoying working full time still.
Great.
I'm Bill Hammond. I graduated in 1966 with a degree in sociology. Got into the insurance business and was the insurance broker for many large corporations, including J.C. Penney's, 7-Eleven, and some others. I've lived in Dallas most of my career. I'm now retired and enjoying it.
Very good. And I mean, I know this, but the viewers don't. How did we get in touch? How did you start working with BonaResponds? First trip, and we'll go from there.
Well, I was looking at the alumni magazine and found that you were planning a trip to Bridge City, Texas, and I figured if you could come 2,000 miles, I could drive 200 miles. So I called you and asked you if I could come down, and you invited me down, and so that was my first trip. And the next one, I think Bob was involved with.
Hmm. And where was that to, Bob? You remember?
Oh, I sure do. That was the hurricane down in Galveston.
Yep. Yeah.
And I'm proud to say that I'm an award-winning paper plate recipient.
Yeah.
In fact, I have a souvenir here, if you believe it, from Galveston that
oh,
was
wow.
picked up on the road
Yeah.
among all of the debris that was created by the
Uh,
hurricane.
I remember those. Yes, very much. Actually, Bob, what was your award?
Well, I fell flat on my face, or my fanny rather, in one of the buildings.
So let me explain for a second, so you don't think this is what happened. It was a really old house. The wood was not very good, and you fell through the floor. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah.
On my rear end. And for that, I got a paper plate award, which I'm very proud to show anybody who asks about it.
Very good, very good. And Bill, I think I mean you've been on a couple trips. Well, you've been Bridge City, of course, and Galveston, and then also to Alabama.
Yes, and then, of course, we did the trip here in Dallas, and then
Yes.
I've been up to Olean for a weekend. So I've been on 5 different disaster recovery projects with you.
Yeah. What if you had to pick a memory? What's your favorite memory of BonaResponds?
Well, I think what I wanted to try to convey was some of the reflections I had from Alabama. I think that was the Tuscaloosa, Alabama tornado. I think it was in '09, if
No,
I'm not mistaken.
no, it was 2011.
2011, okay.
Okay.
And we had some very meaningful experiences in Tuscaloosa. I don't know if people realize, but that tornado went for 50 or 100 miles, and it was about a mile wide. And literally, as you drove into that area, it was like driving into the woods. There was no lights, and it was just an incredible disaster. I think the first thing I remember is we were looking for projects, and FEMA sent us down to the Soma Baptist Church. And the Soma Baptist Church was in an area that was right in the middle of where the tornado had come through. It was probably a 5,000 square foot church. And a half a mile either side of that church, there was nothing standing more than 3 feet tall. That church was not scratched at all. There was one window that was cracked, and it was an incredible vision to see how that church was spared from the tornado when it went right through the middle of it. It was just an incredible vision.
Yeah, absolutely. That was an amazing. That was one of my favorite trips. I say that a lot. I mean, but there have been many very good trips. But that was definitely one of my favorites, and just the way everyone pulled together, and I mean, that was a really amazing trip in many ways.
I remember when we went down to the church was kind of the headquarters of where they were organizing the disaster teams, and we ran into a Marine gunny sergeant named Kicker, and he realized that we had a team of both guys and girls, and he said, "I have a special project for you." He said the pastor of the church has been reluctant to have anybody help him with his property, and because you've got women on your team, and his wife and some other people up there would relate very well to them, he said, "I'm going to send your team up to the pastor's house." And I'll just describe it briefly, but the house was about a third gone. Next to the house, about 60 feet away, was a 60-foot trailer that had literally been picked up, and the steel beams of the trailer were wrapped around a huge oak tree about 3 times. And it was the most unbelievable damage that I have ever witnessed. It was just amazing.
Yeah, it took that whole I-beam, the support, and just literally bent it like crazy. Yeah, I remember that.
In fact, Bob has a picture of it here. He's going to put up if you can see it.
We'll try to indicate.
Oh wow, that's perfect.
That used to be the foundation of a mobile home, and as Bill said, it is still unbelievable that wrapped itself around the tree. Here's another picture of the scene that we both shared, and just to prove that old men can work and help at BonaResponds, there's a picture in the middle of Tuscaloosa.
But you don't have an old guy in it. You're a young guy. You're supposed to put an old guy in it.
That tornado is something that was hard to describe. For example, one lady lost her wedding ring, and all the students, men and women both, dug in and literally found a wedding ring in the middle of incredible debris. So good memories from Tuscaloosa in a sad sense.
Yeah, that was amazing.
The wedding ring, by the way, was in that trailer that wrapped around the tree, and we thought the wedding ring was probably in Georgia. We had no idea where it was. And when Bob and I shared with the pastor's mother-in-law that we had found the wedding ring, she was stunned, and she looked at us and she said, "Do you realize what this means?" And I said, "No." And she said, the couple were having marital problems, and she had taken the wedding ring off, and that's why it was in the trailer and was lost. And she said the fact that it was found is an incredible sign. She was struck with tears when she heard that story.
Yeah, it's always amazing. That was the one we also found. I don't know if you remember the laptop computer down the hill in the back, and it was still working. I mean, amazingly, it had been outside for 2 weeks, had been blown probably 200 yards, 150 yards, and it was still working.
Yeah, I'd forgotten that, but yeah, there were some incredible experiences in Tuscaloosa, and I guess the last one I'll share is that we played as hard as we worked, and so after hours one night we went down to a karaoke bar, and all the people from Tuscaloosa were there, and there's 30 kids from New York and Bob and I from Texas, and we asked them if we could sing a song, and they allowed us to go up on stage, and we sang them Sweet Home Alabama, and we got a standing ovation. It was just an amazing experience.
Very, very good. And I guess you also, one other thing I wanted to mention, you guys have taken the BonaResponds idea and really are doing stuff down in Dallas every 6 months or so. What you want to talk a little about that, or would you, please?
Yes, I have to give Bob credit here because we wanted to do something for the International BonaResponds weekend, and Bob implored me. He says, "I'm not going out and picking up trash on the highway." He says, "You're going to have to find something better to do." So it took me a while to find an organization that could use. We had about 30 or 40 volunteers, but it ended up being it's called All Kids Count, and these are disabled kids who truly need 24/7 care, and their parents are just beyond belief saddled with these responsibilities, and they have a party for them with horseback riding, and so we have about 30 or 40 volunteers that go out and support this party for these disabled kids. And I will tell you that to a person, they all said, "Let us know when this is happening again," because we had so much fun and it was so rewarding that we want to do it again. And we've done it every year now for about 4 years. And they have a second party for disadvantaged kids, and we have been going out at Christmas for the disadvantaged party. And so twice a year we go out, and we're styling in our BonaResponds t-shirts.
Very good.
We go out. They know our group by the brown t-shirts.
Very good. That's excellent. So, what? And I guess either one of you or both. I mean, what do you think BonaResponds? I mean, means just to A, the people we help, but B, to the people who do the helping. One of the things that has been sort of I don't even want to call it a theme through many of these interviews is how much whoever it is gets out of volunteering. I know I do. I can say that over and over again, that BonaResponds is the most fun I have every week. And it doesn't matter whether, I like teaching, don't get me wrong, but BonaResponds it blows teaching out of the water in many ways.
One of the things it does, it reminds people that other people don't have the same advantages that we do. These people that Bill mentioned that go to these twice a year outings, they look forward to it. And to see the faces on the kids, as we all know, is rewarding in itself. But the other thing it does, it causes you to think about volunteering in general. Example, I've got a combination lab and retriever dog, and we go to the nursing home once a week. I hadn't thought about that until I went to activities with BonaResponds and realized there's lots of ways. It doesn't matter how old or young or fat or skinny you are. There's lots of ways you can help people.
Absolutely.
And some of those ways are very close to home. We don't have to go to Tuscaloosa or Galveston to help. We can get in our car, maybe drive 2 or 3 miles and put a smile on some people's faces. It takes about an hour a week, and those people remember people that come in. I've even worn the BonaResponds shirts a couple of times and reminded them that this is part of a larger group, a larger effort.
It's awesome.
Yeah, the reflections and the takeaways that I have, I think in encouraging people to participate, I think you yourself feel good and get a lot out of it. But at the same token, others appreciate the fact that you travel that far. I can't tell you the response we got from several of the locations we've gone to in Texas and Alabama, how they are just amazed that 30, 40 people would travel from New York to come down and help them. It truly, as Bob says, puts a smile on their face, and they're so appreciative. But I think the other aspect is that we have worked with the Church of Christ, the Baptist Church, the Methodist Church, and it has given us an opportunity to interplay with a lot of different cultures and different beliefs. And at the end of the day, it truly gives you a new perspective on life and how much commonality we have among all the religions and areas of this country.
I agree. I completely, 100%. And it's, whether we're working in Haiti or now working with people in Africa or wherever, we have a lot more in common with everyone than we do apart. And I wish everyone would remember that, and maybe getting out and working with people is a good way to remind people and show people that. So, yeah. Anything else you guys?
I'll venture a guess that I think strongly that anytime a Bonaventure student gets involved in BonaResponds, I think that's a memory they're going to bring and hold and keep forever. It may not be life altering, but it's life awakening sometimes. You just never forget the occasion, the damage, the destruction, the need, no matter how old you get. And once you have that feeling, then, as I mentioned earlier, you look around locally for other things you can do.
I agree. Concur completely. Bill, you want to say something? You look like you're about to.
Well, I was just gonna add that I hope that the people that are seeing this and the people that you talk to can understand what as Bob said, life-changing experience this can be. To be honest with you, I never did anything like this until I got involved with BonaResponds, and I have such an incredible respect for the kids today that are, when I was their age, I was out drinking beer and having fun, and these kids are devoting their time off at the spring and fall breaks and summers to help other people, and I just think it's an incredible effort, and I think they're getting a lot out of it that I certainly wish I had started a lot earlier.
Yeah. But I think it's fun too. I don't want to make it sound like it's all work. I mean, I have a blast, and I think you guys all seem to have fun on these trips. I mean, they're tiring and they're a lot of work, but they are fun.
Oh, absolutely. We've had some. We've worked hard and played hard, and that's what makes it so much fun.
Yeah. So. All right. Well, thank you both. If you have anything else you want to say, or
No, the weather down here in Dallas is beautiful. It's 70 degrees, sunny. Come on down.
I wish I could. The little thing about classes sometimes gets in the way, but yeah, would be there otherwise. So thank you both, and if we can do anything, let me know. And we are planning on doing another International Service Day this spring, so hopefully you guys can be out and do something. And just thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Well, I'll see you next June at the alumni reunion.
Okay, you'll be back up for it? Good. You'll see the new building, the new business building. So, all right. Well, thank you both so much.